Dr. Pricilla Muheki holds a PhD in physics, specializing in astronomy, the first female PhD in physics at Mbarara University of Science and Technology, and one of the two female PhDs in astronomy in Uganda. She is one of the 6 founding members of the African Network of Women in Astronomy, which is a committee of the African Astronomical Society, a body that brings together professional astronomers from different countries in Africa, including those in the diaspora. She is also a member of the Eastern African Network for Women in Basic Sciences, a network that aims to reach out to as many girls to encourage them to do basic sciences and mathematics. Dr. Muheki is one of the awardees of the 2023 Early Career Fellowship of the Organization of Women in Science from the Developing World. She is enthusiastic about advocating for girls or females to opt for STEM careers, and as such, she does a lot of outreaches in secondary and primary schools in Western Uganda to motivate the girls. Dr. Muheki is a wife, a mother, and is also involved in several community service initiatives. She is the immediate past president of the Lions Club of Mbarara, a voluntary service organization under the umbrella of the Lions Clubs International that aims at serving the less fortunate members of our communities.
Inspire Inclusion 2024, International Women's Day 2024 is here. And yes, I am bringing to you the different women that have performed tremendously in different aspects, that is leadership, STEM, and as well as business. But today specifically, I have a guest for us that I am soon unveiling, and that is none other than Dr. Muheki, Priscilla. Doctor, you are welcome on the show.
Thank you so much.
Glad to have you here.
My pleasure.
Okay, looking at how beautiful you are, it gives me very many questions running in my mind. How do you make it? You look you look this adorable, yet you have all these achievements.
I don't know what I would attribute that to, but I think, of course, the grace of God and a supportive family, everything inclusive, one thing supports the other.
Okay.
So if one thing is weighing you down, there's no way you would actually keep up your looks, should I say.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's a mixture of things.
Okay. Trends are changing, times are changing, seasons are changing. And this is why we have such people that now look very young, they look adorable. You look at someone and you cannot even tell that she holds all those achievements. But yeah, as you said, by the grace of God, we are here. So to start with, women inclusion in STEM. Why is it so important to have more women and girls within STEM-related careers?
So inclusion of women in STEM is a very important aspect, because we know that the population of the females actually worldwide contributes to about 50% of the total population. So if you lose out that population, imagine you have people who have potential in the 50%, but then they are dropping off, or they're not contributing, or they're not manifesting their potential, then I think it's a big loss. So to ensure that actually girls and females in general are involved in STEM is a very, very good idea.
Okay, maybe still about that, you could, maybe someone out there watching us does not know what STEM is. Maybe you could just break it down for us.
So in simple terms, STEM is just science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So all the fields or all professions that contribute to that bigger aspect are referred to as STEM. So you can be a science teacher, you can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, you can be a technologist, like those who are actually recording us in this moment.
Yes.
So all those are captured in STEM.
Okay. That's amazing. So you were still telling me many other reasons as to why we should have more girls and women on board. But sometimes I ask myself, though I do not get answers, why do girls, maybe women, drop off along the way as they are trying to pursue this career?
So I think one of the main reasons why there is a dropping off is because of the biases and myths that are surrounding sciences. from ancient times, it has always been known that boys or males are better at sciences because of the complexities of the science itself. So people always thought that because the girls or the females look like they are weak, they cannot cope up with, all those complexities. But we've seen in history, many women have made very fundamental contributions to science. And because of that realization, over time, we advocate for more girls to come on board because, sometimes you do not know your potential until you actually reach, should I say, like the battlefield. And you find that actually you can compete as well or even better than your male counterparts. So I think the biggest reason why girls drop off has always been the myths surrounding science. Several times I've met people, and when I tell them what I do, they're like, "Oh, you must be so complicated." And then I'm wondering, how does this have to do anything with my personality or my gender? So that's the whole thing. Society has conceived it that girls are a weaker section that should deal with. I wouldn't want to say that the other thing is not hard or complex, but there's a way we relate to it, like science is so complex and should be meant for a certain genius population.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And so in the process, they try to bring down the girls,
Okay.
and that's why eventually, and of course, sometimes it's even, the teachers themselves. We found out in schools that the teachers themselves can also contribute to that, bias and, lack of interest in science.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think all the issues surround biases and myths that are surrounding science.
That's true. There are very many myths and biases that come in and cause that drop of girls as they are trying to pursue that career. But she will be telling us more. How were you able to beat up all these? How were you able to challenge the myths and the misconceptions that were coming in here and there, maybe culture, maybe any other stereotypes?
Yeah, thank you so much. So my story is a bit a mixed story. I wouldn't say that it was purely smooth or very complex.
Okay.
But I remember when I was in my O level, I loved so much physics. Actually, I think physics was my best subject. Like, even when you're going for a lesson, you're so motivated, like you want to go, as compared to if it was a history or another lesson. So I grew up with this love for physics, and somehow I really wanted to do engineering. Specifically, I wanted to be a civil engineer.
Okay.
So, and my options were two. If I don't become a civil engineer, I should become at least an architect. Those were my two dream professions.
Yes, from high school.
From high school, from around senior 3. So, and good enough, the school I was in, we used to get career guidance. So you have sessions where people tell you what you would need to study if you want to take on a certain profession. So, which was good for me because at least from the start, you know what you need to concentrate on if that is what you want to do. But along the way, as one time we went visiting with some relatives of mine, and then one of them asked me, "So what do you want to do?" I don't know what we're talking about. And then the conversation came up, what you want to do later in life. And then I said, I want to be an engineer or an architect. And the person was so quick to put me down. It's like, you think you can do that? No one in our family has that history of science. So what makes you think you're so special? I felt so bad. I was like, okay.
I know.
I mean, you've asked me, I've told you the best I would expect from you is to encourage me. But then after that, I decided I'm going to work at that. I have to do that. So I sat my A level and I passed. And I wouldn't say unfortunately, but maybe fortunately, I didn't get the engineering on government sponsorship. And instead I got education with physics and math. I was not happy about that, and I tried to convince my parents, please change for me course. Of course, but if they changed, I would have to be on private sponsorship. And so they're like, you can start with this and you can always change to what you want.
Okay.
So I went on and did the education. And with time, actually, I realized that most of the students that we get in the Faculty of Science always have this similar um, challenge, if I may
Yeah.
say. Like they had a particular dream course, and then they are not offered that course, or they get education on government and they're not offered their dream course on government. And so you find they're doing the course, but not because they like it. So sometimes we find they don't perform well because they keep in that, this was not the course I
This is
wanted,
not what I
exactly.
wanted.
But
They
then I
do it
think
for
I
the
was
parents. Okay.
and then they want to hand over the degree and then maybe figure out their lives after that. But I think I was lucky, or should I say, somehow God helped me to overcome that so quickly, and I settled in and I decided I have to work so hard and finish this course. But even when I was finishing the course, my mind was still on, I have to go and do engineering. So I remember shortly after my bachelor's, there was a scholarship that was coming, a project that was coming in the department. While we were doing education, when you reach third year, you decide to major in a particular subject. So I decided to major in physics. And we were, I think, 3 girls to, I think, about 14 gentlemen.
Wow. Only 3 girls?
Yes.
Okay.
So we did our course, we finished. And so when the project came for the department, the head of department tried to contact me to come back and do masters. So when the person he asked to talk to me told me, I was like, no, me, I'm not interested. I want to
you want to
go
go back
and
for
do
civil engineering.
And then they're like, okay, you think about it. And then I think I talked to my mom, and she was like, but I think it's good if this is something that is taking you to another level. Probably you go. If you find that you don't like it, you can always chill and come back and do what you want to do. They call it horizontal growth. So instead of considering this horizontal growth, why don't you give it a try and go up vertically and see where it takes you. So I decided to go back for my master's, and I did my master's. So with master's, you do core physics courses, but then in your second year, you decide the research field that you would want to do your research in. So at the start of my second year, I decided to do astrophysics as my research field. So I did that, finished. By the time I was finishing my master's, I had another scholarship for my PhD.
Oh!
So I went somehow.
Wow.
I think I just got a break of 1 year because at that time I had a little baby and I felt like I was really drained. Like it was a lot of work for me. So I took a break for a year and then I resumed my PhD. And I finished after, I think, 4 years.
Wow.
That's how
Now I'm loving your story. I see you had passion for something else, but because I think you had a blessing in disguise.
Exactly.
One after the other, I now get the answers to why you still look this young and but sorry about that. So also it brings me to another question. I see you had interest in STEM related career. Yes, you had the exposure, but is it possible for someone also to take up STEM related field work, yet they do not have maybe interest? Could it be also about exposure? Maybe I just love technology and I take it up from there without having any interest like at during education level?
I think it may be possible. There are also people who don't actually take on STEM subjects, but they actually end up in the STEM field, like either by talent or by actually, like you say, interest. But when actually they did not go through, like, for instance, to study the physics of how the camera works and whatever, but someone can actually innovate something that is close to that. So it's possible, I think, from interest, but I think eventually you would have to have some training that is STEM based.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you train with a passion, then you can still make it out of that. So, off the camera, she told me, she was telling me more about all the things that she has been doing, and it is really amazing. It is amazing. She is one of the founding members of the African Network of Women in Astronomy. And actually, I think when I was just reading her profile before, I saw that she is so enthusiastic about astronomy. I want her to tell us more about that, so that maybe someone out there who wants to tap into that field can also say that, oh, I think I can make it. Please talk about it.
Yeah, so astronomy basically is the study of things above the Earth's atmosphere. It's a very broad field and it covers so many aspects. So I told you earlier on that, of course, during our undergraduate training, we had some courses that were introducing us to astrophysics. So astrophysics falls under astronomy. So astronomy is the bigger field, and then astrophysics is just, you're trying to use physics principles to explain astronomical.
Wow, those are the terms.
Astronomical things, if I may say.
Yes, please.
So at our undergraduate level, we had these introduction courses, and I found it fascinating. You learn about the solar system, how things are working, how stars are born, and it brings this whole imagination of actually there's so much interesting things that are happening in the universe. And so from there, I developed interest in astronomy, and I thought, probably it's something that you could consider going on with. So that's how I ended up doing my research in astronomy for my master's, and then eventually my PhD.
Okay.
So this African Network of Women in Astronomy is basically a group of women, or even men, who have interest in trying to promote the work that women are doing, especially in astronomy. So as a founding member, we were just, I think, about 5 ladies. We thought probably...
Only ladies?
Yes, at the time. We started
Happy
in
International Women's Day. This is getting interesting. Yes.
Yeah, so we were a group of, we were 5. We had Anana from Ghana, Miriana from Ethiopia, Somaya from Egypt, Vanessa from South Africa then, and the late Carolina also from South Africa. So we were 6, I think. So we sat during COVID. We decided to sit and talk about how is it possible to bring or to motivate women who are in astronomy in Africa, to make their works visible, to make them, grow in their careers, because astronomy is a field that is still new in Africa and still growing. But there are so many ladies in Africa that, who have done astronomy. And then you find you come back home and then there's nowhere you feel like a belonging, because probably if I come back to Uganda and I've had all this astronomy, if I'm not teaching in a university, most likely you find that I may actually leave the field. So we wanted to see what can we do to help women to stay in the field, and also to promote the works that they are doing, because women are doing very amazing work in science, in instrumentation regarding astronomy. And so how can we be of support to make sure that they remain visible, they remain active in research, and keep on doing amazing things?
That's what I want to know. Which kind of support are you giving these people? Are you giving them a platform, funding? What exactly?
Exactly. So the main thing is the platform.
Okay.
A platform for connections, for networking, for collaborations. Because if you come and you sit in your home, no one will know you.
That's true.
So you have to go out there, associate with people, sell yourself, and then people get to know you, and then they also help you. They help to sell you. Yes, so actually, that is the main thing. So we have this platform whereby we share opportunities for PhDs, for masters, for postdoctorate, for research funding, so that people keep active, with their work. Okay. And then, of course, apart from the networking and the collaborations, of course, we also try to get some seed funding to support here and there where they have a need, for instance, if it's a student who needs to travel, or if it is a postdoc that may need some support in a way, we can also be able to like give leads to where we can get funding from.
Okay. As you were growing, as you were doing your schoolwork, those times you had very many things to pull you down. So how is that being addressed via the African Network of Women in Astronomy? Is it that? Hopefully I'm
Yes.
saying the right. Yeah.
Yeah,
How are you
so-
trying to address those challenges that are bringing a drop in the numbers of women that are into STEM?
Yeah, so one of the things that we do in our different locations, because of course it's something that extends via the whole entire continent. So if I'm in Uganda, I may not do so much, for instance, in Algeria.
That's
But
true.
because you have someone there, you can. We decide sometimes we make videos to address different things. For instance, challenges that girls face, how they can overcome them, because usually it's the same everywhere, especially for the African continent. Our cultures are not so different from each other, or even the environments that we are in, given that most of the countries are still in the developing stages. The challenges are quite similar. So we do outreaches to schools, we do outreaches in universities, we do outreaches in even public awareness, because there are communities where actually they discourage girls when they reach a certain level. Now they start preparing you for marriage, settle down, and these things of
Yes.
aspiring to do great things.
Eh.
That's not yours. That is for the man. So addressing those things, and also trying to show the parents and the teachers and the whole community the importance of including girls in science, and also helping them to achieve their dreams. Because in the long run, it benefits the whole community, not just the girl herself, but even the community where they are.
Wow.
Because imagine you're an empowered girl, your family won't be the same as one where the lady is not empowered, because it means it will flow, through your children, and then also your neighborhood, and then we get better communities at the end of the day. So that is what we do with AFNWA. That's how we shorten it. But also outside AFNWA, we still do outreaches, especially like for us in the department. We reach out to several girls' schools. We do, counseling, guidance, monitoring how they progress from primary school. It's a lot of work, but you're motivated when you see some positive results at the end of the day. Even with the girls who do their undergraduates, we try to follow them such that they continue with graduate studies, because sometimes they have the desire, but like we said, all these factors, you finish campus, where is the man? I don't know, where is the money, all that. So if you can be of support in one way or the other, probably you will help someone reach their dream when they actually didn't know that they would actually go that far.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing work. And actually, Dr. Priscilla has inspired very many. I know those people who are watching you will get inspired. Maybe you have someone who had passion in astronomy. You had someone who had passion in technology. Today is the day for you to listen to the person who has tested it and who knows the benefits of it. Your last words to the viewers.
Thank you so much. It's been a great session. And I think I'll just summarize all my thoughts and my ideas into one simple statement.
Yes.
You never know. The strength of a woman is like a tea bag. You cannot know how strong it is until you put it in hot water. So you as ladies or as women, do not despise your strength. Whether you have challenges that you're fronted with, be ready to face them, because you can actually face them. And for all the girls out there, if they're able to actually see this, watch this, know that you can be anything and everything that you want to be.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You had it all. You can be everything that you want to be. So keep the fire burning. Okay. So I have been with Dr. Priscilla here with me for this shortest time. But it is your turn to learn as you also get entertained, because this is somehow edutaining. Because of her story, you could learn. Me, I have learned. I am Bridget Cimenta, and we are live at AET TV, that is empowering youth in technology, and we are doing this under Mbarara University of Science and Technology in partnership with the Ministry of Gender and Guidance at MUST. Ciao.